From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Israeli airstrikes on the southern Gaza city of Rafah this morning have killed over 20 people, including 6 women and 5 children.
Palestinian health officials say one of the children killed in the strikes overnight into Monday was just 5 days old. Israel has regularly carried out airstrikes on Rafah since the start of the war and has threatened to send in ground troops, saying Rafah is the last major Hamas stronghold in the coastal enclave. Over 1 million Palestinians have sought refuge in the city on the Egyptian border. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Pro-Palestinian student activists in Montreal have pitched over 24 tents, and they're camping out on the grounds of McGill University. An encampment spokesperson says the campers intend to remain indefinitely. They're demanding their schools divest and cut ties with Israeli institutions and companies in response to Israel's offensive in Gaza. The World Central Kitchen plans to resume operations in the Gaza Strip this week, 1 month after Israeli airstrikes killed 7 of its aid workers, including 1 Canadian. 33-year-old military veteran Jacob Flickinger of Quebec was among those killed.
The organization suspended food delivery in the region after the attack on 3 World Central Kitchen vehicles full of food from a nearby warehouse. The aid group says the vehicles were very clearly marked and their movements were known to the Israeli military at the time of the attack. Israel has accepted responsibility and says the strikes were unintentional, pledging to change its rules accordingly. John Kennedy, the Canadian Press.
The Ontario Association of Optometrists says 118 Ontario residents have reported eye complications from the solar eclipse this month. The association's president says the reports indicate the people have inflammation of the cornea and solar retinopathy. In extreme cases, that inflammation can cause permanent vision loss after they watch the eclipse on April 8th. The expected opening of the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion later this week is being celebrated by Canadian oil sands producers and many who live and work in that region. The long-awaited pipeline project, or TMX, will boost Alberta's oil export capacity to the West Coast. Cenovus Energy Executive VP Drew Ziegel-Gansberger says this will mean better prices for Canadian-produced oil.
What TMX really enables is, a lot more stability, gives market access options for people, which, when that happens, it generally keeps the market a little more honest. And so I think as Canadians, we should all be happy with that. And as a producer within the industry, we're pretty excited to see it come on.
The Trans Mountain Oil Pipeline is owned by the federal government. Its expansion has been under construction for more than 4 years and has cost at least $34 billion. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Brock Besser had a hat trick and the Vancouver Canucks rallied back from 2 goals down in the third period to beat the Nashville Predators 4-3 in overtime. Besser says the game shows just how resilient the Canucks have been all season.
You can't give up until the final horn. We didn't give up there and we continued to battle back and we felt that momentum shift once we tied it up.
The Canucks are now up 3-1 in their best-of-7 series. They can wipe out the Predators by winning Game 5 in Vancouver Tuesday night. Valeri Nichushkin recorded his first career hat trick, and the Colorado Avalanche beat the Winnipeg Jets 5-1. They grabbed a 3-1 lead in their first-round series. Jets forward Vladislav Nemestikov was taken to hospital after taking a slap shot to the side of the head. Edmonton edged the Los Angeles Kings 1-0 to take a 3-1 lead in their series. In baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays snapped their 5-game losing streak with a 3-1 win over the visiting Los Angeles Dodgers. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.